Everybody, Michael here from GetFitOver40.com, and this video is entitled How to Get on TRT in Canada if your testosterone is too high. So I'm going to have to tiptoe around the subject a little bit so as not to be demonetized or, flat out just get this video removed. So I will be making this, obviously, this disclaimer at the beginning. This information is not medical advice. It is only for entertainment purposes. Do not listen to me in any way. Always take your doctor's advice and put your health first. That last phrase is kind of obvious. You always want to listen to your doctor. Well, I'll just say that. I'll just say that. Maybe not always, but you should always listen to your doctor and put your health first. So I'm going to read through this because there's a lot here to say. I don't want to get off topic, so sorry if it's a little bit dry. But let's get started. Let's get right into it. So the reason I'm making this video is because here in Canada we have very rigid qualifications with our healthcare system that determines whether a person qualifies for TRT. Now you'll need to see your doctor. This is what you got to do first. You get blood work done, and then if your blood work results indicate that you are below what is considered to be normal for your testosterone, there's a certain threshold that if you go under it, then you can go on TRT that will be covered by Canada Medical and monitored by your doctor. So what I mean by covered is that depending on your medical, what you have, you might have extended medical that totally covers a whole bunch of different prescriptions. But typically if you have extended medical, you've got a medical program of some sort in Canada, you have basic medical, but extended medical will pay for it even. And your doctor will monitor everything, do all the appropriate blood work, all that's covered. Now in the US, they have a much more flexible system as there's lots of what they call TRT clinics. We don't have so many of these TRT clinics here in Canada. We have like certain sort of health clinics or whatever, men's clinics, but they're not really TRT clinics. Now in a similar manner with doctors, they assess your testosterone levels, but they don't just look at testosterone levels only. They also consider symptoms, like if you have symptoms of low T, and they put everything in perspective in relation to if a TRT protocol would benefit someone or not. So in Canada, if you're not under that threshold, the doctor's like, sorry, can't help you. In the States, you might be just over that threshold, whatever they think is normal, but you've got all the symptoms. So, and a lot of times, everyone's different, everybody's different. So you might be just above that threshold and have all the low testosterone symptoms because your body just doesn't handle or doesn't take advantage of the testosterone as well as other people might. Maybe your free testosterone's low, but your total testosterone's higher. And so that can affect a lot of things, right? You might need to get your free testosterone or your total testosterone higher in order to feel normal, okay? So the US, they definitely check into that a lot more. Now the benefit to Canada's system is that if you qualify for TRT, your TRT protocol will generally be covered by Canada Medical. So that's the bonus. Now the benefit to the US system is that you are much more likely to be able to find a clinic willing to put you on TRT, but at a cost to you. So there's always a cost with these clinics. They will do blood work. They will give you all the drugs required. So if there's AIs, anti-estrogens, and if there's testosterone, if there's other things that you might need, they'll throw those in there. They might even throw cholesterol medicine in, all that kind of stuff to make sure that your levels and your health and your side effects are minimized. Now at the end of this video, I will be recommending a TRT clinic in the US that I endorse, okay? So keep posted for that. So can a person in Canada pay for their own testosterone and have their doctor provide them with medical blood work and advice regarding levels and dosages? Well, yes, absolutely. This is possible, but you would be required to purchase your testosterone, find a source, and purchase it in Canada. So in Canada, by the way, steroids are not illegal, so they're not considered an illegal drug. You can buy them, you can own them, and you can use them, okay? You just can't sell them. So I can't buy them and sell them to a friend. I can only buy them for myself and use them for myself. So you wonder, well, how do you buy them if you can't buy them, if it's illegal? Well, there's basically what I would have to consider or qualify as underground online pharmacies where you can get steroids. These typically require like the different type of payment structures and things like that because they're kind of on the lowdown. But it's kind of funny because a lot of these places seem to fly under the radar. I don't know how they do it, but they've been around for a long time and people will purchase products from them. So if you want to source this out, you're going to have to do it yourself. You're going to have to go on forums, bodybuilding forums, different places like that, and figure out where you can get it. But the problem with these places is, again, you just don't know what the quality is going to be like because they're not pharmaceutical grade necessarily. They're not regulated pharmacies where you know exactly what you're getting. You don't totally know what you're getting. And now with testosterone, it's a fairly inexpensive compound to make, so there's no reason for them to substitute it with anything else because it's inexpensive. It's probably one of the least expensive compounds to make in terms of steroids. Why would they do that? Why would they short you? But they might. I can't guarantee anything. Other steroids, they often will substitute things like Anavar with Winstrol and something that works similar, that will give you a similar result, but is cheaper for them to produce. So you just don't know what you're getting with these underground places. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, typically a bottle of testosterone is around $100 Canadian and will give you anywhere from, I'm going to say 10 to 20 to 30 to even 40 injections. And this is depending on how much you are taking and what the potency of the testosterone is. So, for instance, typically they come in 10 milliliter vials, and each milliliter is going to contain either probably around 200 to 400 milligrams. So even if it's a 200 milligram per 1 milliliter dosage, you're going to get 10 200 milligram dosages out of one bottle. Let's say you're only taking 100 milligrams, which for a lot of people would be fine. Well, in this case, you would be able to essentially get 20 dosages out of it. Now, if you had a 400 milligrams per milliliter bottle, you would get close to 40 dosages. You might lose a little bit in the syringe, so you will get a little less at the end of the day, but you'll get a lot. All right. So that's that. How does this affect what your doctor can do in terms of giving advice about a TRT protocol that has not been prescribed? Well, your doctor is obligated to give you medical care to the best of their ability, no matter what harm you may be inflicting on yourself. Similarly to someone that is obese or an alcoholic or addicted to drugs, right? Your doctor will give you advice to the best of their ability and try to put you on the right track, as it's their job to look after your health to the best of their ability. They're not there to judge you, they're just there to give you advice. They don't have to agree with your lifestyle choices. I guess they could decide to refuse you as a client, but that would be a pretty extreme situation. You would have really had to gotten on their nerves in some way for them to do that, because they don't want to lose clients. Obviously, again, they're just there for advice. So your doctor will more than likely want to keep track of your blood work, knowing you are taking testosterone, because you've been probably honest with them, you should be, so they can give advice on your levels and what dosages make sense for your TRT protocol, whatever you're trying to achieve. The big difference here is that you're kind of in the driver's seat rather than your doctor being in the driver's seat. So you kind of get to decide what you want to be, where you want to be in terms of on the scale. Oftentimes, a lot of doctors will be super conservative. They'll be just happy to get you kind of above the normal, just mid-ranges, right? But that might not be enough for some people. They might still be suffering from certain side effects or different, dysfunctions. They might have problems, depression, even at a medium testosterone level. So with you in the driver's seat, you could say, I want to be right at the top. I want to be pinned on the normal, as high as I can go without having adverse side effects and different things, the negative side of taking too much TRT, right? Or testosterone. So you basically want to make sure, if you're in the driver's seat, that you're not doing any harm, because you can abuse anything. So you do want to work with your doctor. You want to be honest. If you are taking a little more, you want to work with them and make sure you're not having any types of side effects or high blood pressure or things that might cause health issues. So let's kind of get to the point of this video. One often overlooked option, if you want to get on doctor-prescribed TRT in Canada but have blood work that is perhaps just over the threshold allowed to be covered by Canada Medical, it would be to somehow temporarily crash your testosterone on purpose. So when you get your blood work drawn, you are below normal thresholds, all right? So I wonder how this could be achieved. So we're going to be a little careful here, right? Keep in mind, this explanation is completely hypothetical and just meant to explain what might happen in a given situation where one has exogenous testosterone, so external injected testosterone in their system, and then literally stops taking it. So you've been using testosterone and then stop cold turkey. It's well understood that when a person goes on testosterone, their body will adjust for the higher levels of this exogenous testosterone in their system, right? And their systems will be shutting down its own production of testosterone. So you get this exogenous level up to a certain point, and your body stops making it almost completely, okay? So what's going to happen here is the body will take a little while to begin producing testosterone again on its own. So for a period of time, that person would have much lower than normal testosterone levels because they're not taking it anymore and their body stopped producing it and it hasn't kicked in yet, okay? So the goal is to figure out the time when your exogenous testosterone is crashed and your natural testosterone is not kicked in yet. This is the thing you need to try and figure out. Now, most oil-based testosterones have a half-life of around 7 days, which means if your testosterone level was, say, 800 nanograms per deciliter, then 1 week later it's going to be 400 nanograms per deciliter. A week after that it's at 200, and a week after that it's at 100. So 100 would definitely be low. 200 would probably be below most cutoffs, right? So within 2 to 4 weeks, you're probably going to be below that threshold. So for this hypothetical example, I would recommend a person takes, say, 100 milligrams of testosterone per week for about 2 to 3 months to get their body used to the exogenous testosterone, so their own testosterone production is somewhat shut down. They won't, this person would know this because they would notice their testicles a little bit smaller. Over time, that's what happens. It's something that if you are going to go on TRT, you have to accept. You will get some shrinkage unless you counter that with other drugs. There are other drugs that can help that a little bit, so you'd have to look into that. But it is a byproduct of TRT because your testicles, sorry, it's not that I'm embarrassed to say them, I'm just tongue twisted with the testicles. So they are the main producers of testosterone. If they're not producing testosterone, they shrink. It's just what happens, okay? So this amount should put that person in normal ranges around 500 to 900 nanograms per deciliter for most people. But I cannot say this for sure. Everyone's a little bit different, right? Now, even if they were a little higher, let's say they just responded really well to 100 milligrams and they got up really high to the top level, they were at like 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. Well, a week after going cold turkey or stopping injections, they would be at around 500. A week after that, so second week after stopping, they'd be at 250. Third week, they'd be at around 125, right? So 3 to 4 weeks, you should be well below normal levels when you get your blood work done. So if you get your blood work done, say between 3 and 4 weeks after you go cold turkey, as long as you're not blasting a huge amount of testosterone, so if you're just in a normal range and you go cold turkey, your body will be shut down probably longer than a month, right? So it's not really going to start producing much for a while unless you go on some sort of a post-cycle therapy, which you're not going to do because you don't want your testosterone to rebound in this situation, this hypothetical situation where you want it to be low, right? So in other words, this person's going to need to wait about 3 to 4 weeks after their last injection before they get their blood work done in order to show low levels of testosterone. This is, of course, a hypothetical, and it's not advice at all. It's just a random idea on how exogenous testosterone would affect natural testosterone and ultimately lead to an overall reduction of testosterone in your system, given certain circumstances that I just described. Okay. Again, this situation that could hypothetically be used in Canada to qualify you for TRT, but in the US you have a lot of other options, right? So you don't need to do this necessarily in the US because it's not going to benefit you. You aren't going to get on paid TRT either way. You're going to probably want to go see our TRT clinic because they're going to want to get you, they're going to want to make you happy, they're going to want to make you feel good, they're going to want to get your levels as boosted as possible without adverse side effects, okay? So anyways, I did mention that I would talk about a clinic. That would be Royal Medical Center. I do have a coupon code, and it's GFO40, so Get Fit Over 40. So the letters GFO and then 40, the numbers. And you just put that code in the message heard about us field when you're kind of like contacting them, and you will save about $45 per month for, I believe it's about 6 months now. It's up to them how long they honor this for. It's just a code that will give you a discount. I can't say how long that happens for if they would decide to change it, but at the time that I'm making this video, that's what currently is happening there. So I'm hoping this video helped you guys. I know I was just trying to ram through it as quickly as possible, just to make this video as short as possible. But yeah, that's the lowdown, right? So again, this is just a hypothetical way in which you could crash your testosterone and in which you could show on blood work that you're lower than you normally would be. Here in Canada, that potentially would allow you to get on TRT. All right, thanks for watching another GetFitOver40.com video. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.